Hi there, welcome to this build and flight review for this 60-inch wingspan Avanti pattern plane from 1974. And I built this from an excellent set of plans which I downloaded from the Outer Zone website, and there's a link in the description below to these plans. There's actually another sheet with the wing on it. They're quite large sheets, but I can honestly say without a shadow of doubt I have never built anything from better plans. These plans are exceptionally good. They are so detailed, they're so accurate. We've even got isometric views to show how the nose section goes together, which is kind of quite complicated, and it's quite useful to have that image. So to start with, these plans are really good, and if you're thinking of building this plane, these will guide you through really well. There is a little bit of a build article that came out at the same time as this, and I think it came out in Model Aeroplane News, but I'm not totally sure if my memory's right. And it kind of gives you a little bit of detail about the construction, but it's not kind of essential because, like I say, the plans are so detailed. The actual build itself, it's perhaps not a beginner's plane because there's a lot to do with it. It really is quite an involved build. I made a few modifications from the original design, the main one being the bolt down, lockdown system for the wings, so I can bolt the wings into the fuselage. It just makes it more cleaner, more up to date perhaps, and you haven't got those rubber bands. It's quite easy to do, and if you look back in my videos you'll see of the build series, you'll see how I've achieved that. Now the weight of this actually came in at about 250 grams lighter than the first time round I built this, and if you've seen the build series you'll know this is a second build. I gave the first one to a really good friend, and this one came in lighter, and I'll talk about the difference that makes, but it did make a big difference in flying it. Now, to get the weight down, the last time I built this I had to put a little bit of weight in the tail. To get around that, this time round I put a servo down in the tail here. It's on this side, you won't be able to see it. And I've also put a battery hatch just here on the underside. I don't know whether that shows up, but it's allowed me to get the weight back because we've got an Irvine 61 in the front here, which is quite a good power plant, and I think is just right for this model. But it has got a bit of weight to it, so rather than putting the battery and the servos up here, like shown on the plans, getting the weight back allows us to get away with absolutely no added weight. I haven't put any lead in this, front or back, just managed to get it balanced. And it's come in at a couple of 100 grams, I don't know whether I've just said this, lighter than the plan specified weight, which is brilliant. And like I said, you can really tell in the flying of this model. Now, one of the things that drew me to this was the stringers. I am a real sucker for turtle decks with stringers, especially this kind of scallop design. I don't know whether that shows up on the plans, but it's really nice. It's a solid build, it's a great shape, and if you're looking for a nice designed retro kind of pattern plane, you can't do better than this in the plans, the construction, and certainly the flying. Now with the flying, as I said, it's come in lighter than the last one I built, and you can really notice that. This thing really motors. It's controllable, but it's got a lot of power when you really want it. And I think it will probably climb more or less indefinitely. It does start to slow down a little bit, but I haven't tested it fully because it starts to get quite small after a bit going straight up. But if you saw the video on the opening sequence of this video, you'll see I take off, come around and do a huge big sweeping loop. it is just absolutely effortless in this plane. And if I'm being perfectly honest, my flying ability, my flying skills do not do this plane justice, because this plane can do a lot more than I can offer it. It really is, it just goes exactly where you put it. And I'm just so pleased with this plane, and it really is a joy to fly. And I can't wait to get back out to the airfield and fly it again. It's, yeah, as you can tell, I really like it, and I like everything about it. You know, like I said, from the plans through to the building of it. I mean, I built it over a 2-year period when I was building various other things, and it was just something to go to and have a little bit of a change in building. But you can see it's an absolutely gorgeous plane. I'm going to stop saying what a lovely plane this is now, and I hope you can appreciate the lines of it. So anyway, if you're looking for a retro pattern plane, download these plans and get out and build this, because it really is good. Anyway, here's a closing sequence of the plane coming into land, and just to say, it's got, as far as I'm aware, with all the flights I've had, it's got no nasty habits that I've found. It hasn't showed any inclination to drop a wing, even coming in nice and slow on the landing. So anyway, thanks very much for watching, and here it is coming into land.